Bonjour, je m'appelle Tatiana Laroche et je suis de l'île Maurice. I'm the oldest of 4 kids. I have 3 younger siblings. A brother, his name is Joshua. He's 3 years younger than me. Then my sister, she's Grace, 8 years younger than me. And then the youngest, Emmanuel, who's 10 years younger than me. And then my mom and dad. Mauritius Island is located off the east coast of Madagascar, and that's part of the African continent. It's in the Indian Ocean. It's called the Pearl of the Indian Ocean because it's very diverse. It's a multi-cultural island, so like we don't have one set culture, and that's what makes it so beautiful. I lived there for roughly 10 years before moving to South Korea. So I heard about Cornerstone from my chemistry teacher back in Korea. She told me that her son goes to Cornerstone, and the way he heard about Cornerstone was a very God thing. And so she was like, it's our mission to spread the word. And so she told me about it, and she was like, you're going to Cornerstone. And I was like, okay, because I was originally planning to go somewhere else, but that's not where God wanted me. So that's why I came to Cornerstone. Not gonna lie, I was very nervous because I don't have any family here at all. That was the number one thing that I was really scared about. When I lived in Korea, it took me roughly like 7 years for me to be able to like adjust to the food and actually enjoy it because I was so picky. And to be honest, it's true because it's taking me so long to get used to the food here. It's very different. Food, I would say, here is very salty. Either that or it's very sweet. So, not something that I'm used to. Always having to speak English was also another thing that I was scared about because yes, I can speak English, but like there are so many expressions here that I still don't know about, and like sometimes it's really hard to understand the accent. Mixing all that together, like language and having to like establish my friendships, like that was really tough. It took me a lot of trial and error to be able to, if that's an expression, to be able to make friends and surround myself with good friends that are godly and will be here for me. It was actually really hard for me to process all these emotions because as soon as I left home, I said goodbye to my family. Like because of COVID, like the protocols were just so rough. Like I did not get to hug them goodbye or anything. It was just like they had to drop me off at the airport. The police was like at the gate and they were like, you have to drop her off and she has to go by herself. So like I did not have time to cry, give a hug or nothing. And then I got here and then it was just like chop like international orientation, and then classes started. So I never had time to actually process all those emotions. And it was the 31st of December when my family called me for New Year's, and then I just started crying because I was like, now I can feel and understand the emotions that's happening. So I was feeling very sad, frustrated, and just homesick and like lonely, and I wanted family. I wanted people. Like I wanted to be able to hug them. I wanted to be able to like be with my grandparents and my siblings and my parents and my uncle and my aunt, my cousins, and I don't know, it was like I was missing something. The Cornerstone Diversity Department, they hosted like a few events and where they were able to help international students like establish friendship amongst themselves, and so that was very helpful. That's actually majority of my friends are international students. Going to those events where I knew people were feeling homesick just like me, and like so that brought us together, those emotions. I would say like having international students like was very helpful because I saw a lot of overlap between my culture and their culture. I was able to like put all those cultures together, and like it made me feel like home in a way. One word would be blessing. That's something that I learned to really appreciate and see in my life, because in the midst of like trials and moments where I just felt lonely, like I just had to reflect, think back about my life and realize like everything was a blessing. Like moving to Korea was a really tough time for me because it was so hard finding friends. I was the only international girl in my class. Well, if I didn't go to Korea, I would have never been able to come to university here. So it's like every little situation was actually a big blessing, and that's the biggest thing in life, I think. that I learned is just to be thankful for everything. That's how like I see God's hand in my life. Like everything is a blessing, whether I realize it or not. Like every single step is a blessing.